Welcome back, everybody, to the podcast Under Your Bed. Ba, ba, ba. I feel like that's appropriate with this 2000s video we got for you today. We are reviewing 13th Ghost, the 2001 version for you.
So Thir13en Ghost.
Y'all explain it to us. If you're new to the podcast, you don't know who we are. Sitting across from me is Taylor, your co-host.
Hey guys.
And I am CJ, your host. And we are excited because today is Friday the 13th. Which,
in October! In October!
We got it! Landed, winning. So cheers to that, y'all. Cheers, Taylor.
Yes. Oh my God, first shot in 100 years. Here we go. I'm nervous. Okay.
That's not too bad. It's not too bad. We'll get to that, but you gotta stick around for the spoiler section of this episode to hear what drink we're sipping on today.
Yep.
So,
yep, you do.
If you don't know 13th Ghosts, it's about a man and his family inherit a mysterious home from their estranged uncle. And there's ghosts? Are there ghosts? I don't know. There's ghosts. Maybe
there may be even 13 ghosts. Who knows?
There seems to be some discrepancy about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can count that high, I think. This movie is so 2000s, y'all. So 2000s. Starting off with the cast itself. Hit us with some of these 2000s OG actors.
You guys, this is pretty iconic to be for sure. So you get Tony Shalhoub as playing the dad, Arthur Criticos. He may, at this time, you'd best remember him for Monk, but he's recently done like Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Cars, 1408, playing his daughter, also a very 2000s actress, and I say that loosely, I suppose, but that's Shannon Elizabeth, playing Kathy Criticos, who was in Scary Movie, American Pie, the Night of the Demons remake. This is definitely, the next three are actually so top tier for me. So first off, we get Cyrus Criticos, who is the uncle, and that's F. Murray Abram. And truly do not know what he's doing in this because he's like a real actor. Like, he's a real actor. You may have recently just seen him in White Lotus. He's been in Grand Budapest Hotel, Amadeus. Like, he's amazing. Then this is just a little big old heart for 90s horror fans, but we got Matthew Lillard playing Dennis Rafkin. Obviously, he's in Scream, Scooby-Doo. He's going to be in the new Five Nights at Freddy's. I think he's doing a voice for that. Don't quote me on that. And then this is the 90s baby me loves this. So Kalina is played by M. Beth Davids, and you may remember her as Miss Honey from Matilda, but she was also in Army of Darkness, which is pretty rad. And honestly, I don't know Digga. I just sounded so white. That was so bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm from the Midwest. Playing nanny, the nanny question mark Maggie. I wasn't really familiar with her at that time, and neither am I now. But it has this very like LL Cool J's like in Deep Blue Sea kind of vibe to it, where you're like, what are you doing here? But I kind of like it. I don't know.
We'll allow it.
Yeah, right.
Like the 2000s-ness of it, right?
It totally is.
So 2000.
Get a rapper in there. It tracks for some reason.
Yeah. Well, and then the crew, you know, I don't think there's anything too exciting happening here, but, you know, it's quality made film in some respects. Directed by Steve Beck. Also did Ghost Ship. And he was coming from a lot of special effects background, visual effects background. So, you know, obviously you see that playing out here in this movie. OG story coming, from Rob Wright, the original story for the 1960 something.
59.
59?
Oh, 60. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. There's a unicorn toy down here and it went off and scared me. So apologies if you hear neighing in the background. That was definitely a toy. I'm so sorry. Or a ghost. Or a ghost.
It could be a ghost. It could be a ghost. I think we roll with it. We're just going to have some ghosts haunting us in the background today.
I like that.
All right, but it was like the writing got a facelift with Neil Marshall Stevens, Richard DiVidio, and Todd Alcott, and James Gunn. How many freaking writers could you have to make this movie? Editing, we have some thoughts on it, but brought to you by Derek Bretchen. Choices were made, bold choices, not all favorable, as well as Edward Warshilka.
I trust you on that.
Derek went on to he was part of Deep Blue Sea, Romeo Must Die. I think there were some pretty strong editing choices in a couple of those as well.
Yep, there were. Yeah.
Composition by John Frizzle, part of the Texas Chainsaw remake, y'all. Did some Office Space, Stay Alive. There's some fun stuff in there. This guy had some fun, and you can see the playfulness in the soundtrack for sure in this. Cinematography, another Ghost Ship crew member, Gail Tattersall. Other flicks include Grace and Frankie, House, The Commitments.
I cannot believe that the guy who did The Commitments, which is such a good Irish film, did this film. But
we're gonna give it a pass. Anyways, our effects were from K&B, big house, because there's obviously a bunch of effects going on here. Mm-hmm. So there were lots of great things going on though, So I think that's almost like a problem with the film, is like showing too much of it. So to be debated though. And set deck, this actually was probably one of the biggest strengths in this, which was Dominique Fouquet-Lemaitre. Excuse me, my French is I'm not so brushed up on that. Went on to do Arrow, The Uninvited, Fear. She's the Man. That's all we got for you coming out of the crew. I
swear too, that person also ended up doing a ton of Marvel stuff, but not like as the pure like set coordinator or whatever. Did like some big kind of the bigger higher up, I'm not as involved kind of thing, but like pretty good career after. So kudos, because like you said, one of the stronger points for sure.
Yeah. So walk us through this a bit, Taylor. What are the strengths? Why is it such a mixed movie for so many reasons?
Yeah. What's kind of fun about this one is it does have a bit of a cult following to it, and it's kind of had this second weird resurgence where obviously when it came out, it was critically panned. I don't think that rating will change for people much, to be honest, but I think people's enjoyment of it has changed through the years. I think the big pros of it are the set design is pretty crazy. I mean, it's an entire like glass house. They built this. They had to film around it, which is just, I imagine, chaos. But they definitely did a good job there. I think a real disappointment in a way, and we'll get like into the real minute stuff of this, is that the ghosts all actually have very interesting and cool backstories, but that was relegated to a DVD feature, which is so disappointing because it's pretty cool, and I really wish some more time had been spent on it. I think we disagree on this, but I do think some of the ghosts are pretty strong makeup-wise. I think some don't look as good, but generally speaking, I think the makeup is actually good. And, it's not quite Scream level working for me, but some characters, when they ham it up, it's almost like I wish everybody had just like gone full out. It almost would have worked better that way. I think we get this kind of odd mix of like kind of delivering a real performance, being really hamming over the top. Like the lawyer is just the skeeziest skis, but you're like, this guy's a villain right away. Like I almost wish they had leaned in, because it just makes everything feel uneven in that way. Like it's just, it's a weird mesh of like, we're kind of being campy. We're trying to get this really cool, like serious set and ghosts and whatever. And it's like, it just ends up being a mishmash in the end, I guess.
I completely agree with that. It's like a movie. And honestly, it was a lot of like what you saw in the 2000s, like movies that were trying to do too much and like try to like blend modern style and old movies and like modern music with like orchestral music.
Yeah.
It just wasn't sure like what to be at the end of the day, and it I think was a mistake. But at the end of the day though, it was super fun if you like
it is
this like gratuitous and grotesque horror flicks. This is definitely one of those. I would say at moments it had some scare factor, but at the end of the day was not a movie that like haunted me in any way or didn't even really like give me a scare while watching it. So
no, the kills though are pretty dope. When they do them right, they're really good. When they're bad, they're bad.
that's where this movie is strong. And I don't know, we watched kill count, or at least you did, Taylor. Do you have the total kill count? I forget.
I didn't pull up the number, but I would highly recommend, guys, if you are looking for like a kind of more consolidated version of this. That's about like 25 minutes. They do some great behind the scenes stuff and obviously go through all the deaths, which again are a strong suit. They're definitely a highlight. I'm looking forward to us getting into like our favorite ones in the spoiler section because it's a good time. Like you said, it might be a bad movie, but it's a good time.
Yeah, and throughout the film, it's like it was doing lots of unique editing choices, lots of unique camera choices that were fun at times, but again, just like didn't always like move the film in the right direction. They weren't always motivated. They just they were just there for like the gratuitous nature of like awe factor, I guess.
I just truly don't understand. This is like a slew, and actually I didn't realize this. I knew it was Dark Castle Pictures, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe they're a production company anymore, but I didn't realize their whole thing was to like try to bring back Castle films. I did not know that was kind of the goal, which really bums me out because it's a very cool idea. And like you said, this is elevated in a lot of ways compared to the first one. But the opposite of that is getting like House on Haunted Hill, which is such a worse remake than the original. And it just, all of them have this bizarre style to them where it's like, we're going to flash an edit here, we're going to flash a light here. And it's just like, why in the 2000s was everyone obsessed with like butt rock and flashing lights at you?
I hear ya. Well, I mean, without going on too much about it, do you have an overall rating?
Okay, I'm gonna say I'm tempted in a way to give it a 1, but I have to say for pure entertainment value and how awesome some of those kills are, and again, the backstories are pretty dope. If only they were in the movie. I'm gonna give it a 2 stars. For all the effort and time and work that went into the set as well, it just didn't pan out enough, and I think I'm being very kind by giving it a 2. What are you giving it?
Yeah, on the fence, 2 or 3. 2 or 3.
Oh.
I think 3 is like super generous. And really, again, because of those strengths, that's the only reason I'm not landing on a 3. I think I am gonna give this
teetering
a 2.
there.
It's a 2.
Okay, fair.
For a horror flick, it just wasn't scary. It was like monsters you might see in a really good haunted house in town. It was. I thought the set was just super cool. I didn't know that about like bringing back the Castle movies. I think that's a great idea, and this was definitely an awesome way of doing that. I like the twist that they added on the original story. I really enjoy what they did there. But again, everything else just made it cheesy and fall flat for a horror film. And they were trying to make up for it in edit, and it just wasn't working. So 2. Now, I think we've touched on it quite a bit, but monsters under your bed, out of 4 monsters under your bed, how scary are we talking?
Easy one. It's an easy one. Honestly, what really bums me out is the little featurette is actually probably scarier than anything that you get in the actual movie. Like, and that is where I'm like, y'all missed a big opportunity there, because it feels like that could have been cool and interesting, but it's just not. It's not scary, and to be honest, even if the makeup is working, if you're just flashing shit at me, like, I'm out. Like, you've lost me. I'm distracted now. I'm not, like, in the moment anymore, and the jump scares are not really even effective, like, in any way, so it's a solid one.
Yeah, and when you're flashing that much, like, stuff at you, like, the jump scares lose their effect, because you're just used to being, like, barraged by flashes all the time. So I'm gonna give it a 2. Yeah, just because some of the effects were super legit.
That's true.
If gore makes you squirmish, this movie will get you. You know, we got like railroad spikes through bodies. We have completely headless necks. We have
that is pretty sweet, to be fair.
Yeah, we'll get there, but that's maybe my favorite guy.
I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll have the conversation. And then there's some more gore in there that is just really fun. But again, it's done in a comedic way, so it doesn't have that scare factor. I don't have anything else to say. Watch this if you just want to have a fun Halloween night and you don't care about like paying too close attention. You can tune into this at any time and tune back out and still have a fun time watching it. So it's a good party film.
Oh, 100% I agree. I think, this is such a 2000s nostalgia booster. So if you were of this age, this is a super fun watch to have. Yeah. Again, this is not like shaping minds and changing the game by any means, but it's a good time. And if you don't take it seriously, and if you can let go how many exposition dumps you get and how stupid a lot of the movie is, and just kind of enjoy the ghosts and play a little drinking game with it, like, you will definitely have a good time. And if you are a gore hound, there are some dope kills, so you will enjoy that too.
That's for sure. So, y'all, we got a fun shot for you today. Stick around for our deep dive critique next.
Welcome to the podcast Under Your Bed. There'll be drinks, critique, and perhaps a few murders. You're all invited, but once the podcast has begun, there's no way out. The ghosts are waiting, so won't you join me for the podcast Under Your Bed?
I made the unicorn go again! The unicorn!
The ghosts are screaming along with us.
I guess so. Oh my God, what is up with this thing? It is possessed, I swear.
I love it. Well, as always, my favorite part of the episodes, I don't know, I went for my best, like, glitchy, like, scary effect.
You were giving some of the torso vibes. You were giving a little bit of that, yeah.
So, anyways, we got an interesting one to review for you. I actually love reviewing films like this because it's really fun just to see that mix of, like, what's working, what's not working, what should they have done, maybe. But before we get there, we've got a drink for y'all today.
Ooh, should we do it? Guys, this is new. We really don't do shots on here. This is like a new thing. But this one is specific to the movie, so you're gonna hear it. Let's take this shot and then I'll explain it, and it might be a little rough. Okay, give it a swirl. Ready and
Cheers.
Go. Okay. It's the only thing. The fireball kind of goes up your nose a little bit. So then you kind of get this like, yeah. Ooh, okay. So it's not by any means. This is not a rough shot to take. Like, it actually tastes pretty good, but I will say it's that fireball. It just keeps going like up my nostrils every time. So this was kind of cool. So I found these guys on TikTok. But they have a whole 13 ghosts like shot menu, which is really cool. So this one is the Torn Prince, which is the baseball player. If you're not familiar, he's got kind of like the burnt face. And so on her TikTok handle, it just says her name is Eva, and she's from the Dark Room, which is a bar that does all these horror shots, which is pretty dope. So I love this because it's easy. It's equal parts Fireball, sour apple pucker, and pineapple juice. And I will say at the moment, now we've only had 2, but it's not giving the gut rot, which is appreciated. The flavor combination surprisingly works because when I read it, I was like, am I going to cry about this or is it going to be okay? What did you think, CJ, of this drink?
I think it's a fun, easy party drink. So many people like Fireball. It's not really my thing. Sorry, y'all. But it's kind of fun to, like, cut the intensity of Fireball down with a little apple, make that apple pie flavor. And then I guess the citrus just kind of balances it out a little. So, I thought it kind of worked and is fun and easy to shoot back. I'll have
check
5
out
more.
So check out their account too if you want to see the other ones. They just didn't specify the proportions and I didn't trust myself to guess that. But if you're looking for a real 13 ghost experience and you want to do 13 shots while you're doing it, I think they'll get you all set.
That would be one way to watch this movie, and it would probably be a more enjoyable experience.
Yeah, I would love this movie at the end, probably.
All right, well, to jog all y'all's memory of this 13 Ghosts movie,
yeah,
we open on a junkyard where Cyrus Criticos, his psychic assistant Dennis, and a team of lackeys attempt to locate a ghost. They are interrupted by Ghostbusters, maybe?
Ghost freers, ghost spirit, the
people,
I don't know, yeah, whatever. I guess that's a job. I don't know.
Sign me up. Kalina and Damon, who say he cannot complete his mysterious plan that seems to include 13 ghosts.
No
Things
way.
quickly go awry, and like the entire crew, I think it was all of them, including Damon and Cyrus, are killed by the now trapped ghost. We then cut to an expositional montage indicating Cyrus' nephew, Arthur Krentos, and his children, Kathy and Bobby, have recently lost their patriarch, Gene, to a house fire. Clearly, the times are tough, but not that tough because they have a nanny on a teacher's salary. Full-time.
Right?
Full-time live-in nanny. And their suburban paradise has been reduced kind of to this small apartment, which leads to a lot of like bumping heads, family conflict. So enter, in a very like ominous way for no apparent reason, lawyer Moss, who visits the family, stating that Cyrus's estate has been bequeathed to Arthur. Obviously, the family is jumping with joy at the chance to move to this spacious mansion. But when they arrive at this glass-plated, Latin-inscripted castle, they're greeted by Dennis posing as a maintenance man. The group make their way in, and while exploring, they find the Latin script all over the walls and a collection of other bizarre antiques and antiquities. Dennis makes his way to the basement, attempting to locate an overdue payment, quote-unquote. However, after putting on a pair of ghost-seeing oculars and realizing the ghosts he once hunted are trapped in the home via the Latin spells written on the walls, Dennis relays this information, warning Arthur, while the group decide, for no apparent reason, to split up and explore the house and individual groups throughout the rest of the movie. Moss decides... The end. Moss decides this is the perfect opportunity to find the sum Dennis was discussing, all that money laying around, but money. Accidentally trips a mechanism that begins moving the house. What was that movie where they're all like trapped and it shifts and then they had to get out? And Anyways, very
Is
reminiscent.
it Cube?
This is like 13 Ghosts meets Cube. And subsequently begins opening ghost cages. He is quickly killed by a ghost after like one of the doors literally slices him in half. Pretty sweet,
so
pretty cool.
good.
That's one of the best moments. The
Yes.
house continues to move, eventually trapping the group inside. Bobby, separated, sees several ghosts, including that of his mother, right before he gets knocked out. Kathy is attacked shortly after, but rescued by Kalina, with her and Arthur pulling Kathy to safety. Kalina explains she's there to free the trapped souls, that Cyrus's home is really machine powered by the ghosts. Ooh,
Sure, why not?
twisty, interesting. That sounds neato. Renewable source of energy, perhaps. If the proper spell were completed, it would allow the owner to see the past, present, and future, giving them significant power. Maggie, Dennis, Arthur, and Kalina end up in the library with a candlestick, where Kalina reveals Jean's ghost is there and that a 13th ghost, one created from love and sacrifice, will stop the machine. Arthur agrees to make the sacrifice, but Dennis and Maggie object, suggesting attempting to find the kids first.
Step one, maybe don't commit suicide first.
Don't off yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arthur and Dennis head back out using a panel as protection, while not very effectively, I'll add. While Maggie and Kalina set up explosives, ensuring the machine's destruction. Maggie and Kalina see Cyrus, and Kalina quickly knocks out Maggie. Big reveal time. Cyrus faked his death. And he and Kalina are in fact lovers. Turns out she killed her partner Damon and stole his spell book from her for Cyrus. Additionally, she lied about the sacrifice stopping the machine, and instead would start it. Dennis sacrifices himself to protect Arthur, and Dennis is murdered by two ghosts who kick the ever-loving shit out of him, like Battle Royale style.
Yeah,
all the ghosts are then summoned to the heart of the house via some good old-fashioned Latin recordings.
As you do.
Unsurprisingly, Cyrus double-crosses Kalina, causing her to get smashed to death between two moving panels with smush like a bug.
Why? I can't even.
Arthur manages to find his children in the center of the machine and spooky ghost seance circle thing.
Yeah,
And Maggie jacks up the machine enough to free the ghost. The ghosts take their revenge on Cyrus, throw him into the machine, killing him. The machine breaks down in a way that Arthur is able to reach his kids. The machine continues to go haywire, exploding and shattering the house. The ghost of Jean tells Arthur, Kathy, and Bobby that she loves them and disappears. And Maggie says, fuck this, I'm quitting. Yeah. Fuck these white people.
Understandable.
She is, once again, out of common theme in these movies, the voice of reason. The black lady saying, "What
I'm
the
not
fuck
sure
dumbass
what a
white folk
good
doing?"
nanny she was, but we'll let that go.
That's very debatable. But on a teacher's salary, you get what you pay for. All right. Well, let's start with story, right? Story. What do we like about it, Taylor? Is it fun? Is it a good story? Is it a bad story?
The story is, quite frankly, it's a mess, which is obviously seen in the writing. We get multiple just dumps of exposition without anything actually happening. There's very confusing character dynamics that I truly don't understand. Arthur and Kalina should be this big reveal, but we quite frankly don't know either one enough at any point to really grasp the situation or even their dynamic, which is also very confusing, by the way. It's she's like, I love you, and he's literally pushes her. I don't understand with the vibe there. I don't even get the family vibe, quite frankly. I think the daddy-daughter relationship is a little more solid, but with the little kiddo Bobby, it's just like he doesn't even need to be there, quite frankly. It just is trying to like up the stakes via a small child. But he's so fucking annoying. And that you don't even get, literally, what does he call him? He calls him the kid. He doesn't even say like, I have to go get Bobby. He says, I have to get the kid. And I'm like,
the kid, not my kid.
That tracks.
A kid. There's a kid.
That tracks, because it doesn't feel like a legitimate organic family unit in any capacity. And it's just like, there's just so much of it that feels like somebody had an idea, then another writer came in and had an idea, and it really
There's like
shows.
5 writers on this. Yeah, I totally get that. And individually, I think a lot of the elements were great ideas.
Totally agree.
In this like clusterfuck of a movie, that's just what it resulted in. I think you're spot on in all of that. I did like how it kind of took the original movie and elevated it.
Totally.
And all right, you all have seen it now. There's spoilers. And I really did like the twist of Uncle's not actually dead. I think was really fun.
Not bad, no.
Yeah, good idea. I personally didn't see it coming. Thought it was a great choice. And then, I like how it still maintains a lot of the original elements from the OG movie, but it just kind of botches it up. I can't put it any other way.
No, 100%. Like, they added the glasses and they took the spooky home, but they made it more modern. And, like, there's a lot of cool elevations and cool ideas that come into place, but nothing is fully fleshed out in any capacity that just makes it feel awkward. Like, even the sketchy lawyer, like, he feels like he should be bigger. And he's offed pretty early on, and it's very confusing, though I did read an early draft they had, he was like a much more significant character, and it makes sense. Like, it feels like he's supposed to be somebody, but then he just is not. And that is just kind of encompasses the entire movie. Like, all these kind of half-baked ideas that never really get there.
Yeah. All the characters end up super flat, which is unfortunate. I liked how they have that like same like a new take on everything, right? The same witch character is still in this.
Oh yeah,
I was really excited to see this like modern version of that, but then she's non-existent in the movie, and you're like, where is she? What is she doing? And then she shows up, and like to your point, she double crosses the team or something, and it's just the reveal of it's like, oh, okay, well that's interesting, but I don't care, I guess. It's
like,
just,
I don't know who this is at all.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not bought into anybody. And even the ghosts, it seemed like they were intended to have like all this rich backstory, but you don't get any of it. They're just these like, super aggressive, violent creature, spirits, whatever. So nobody, Ghost included, had any fleshed out background character development that came across on screen.
Right, yeah. Again, that DVD feature, you get more from that 1 minute segment for each person, or each ghost, I should say. You get more out of that than you do the entire runtime of the movie for like Kathy or Arthur or Bobby. Like, Kathy, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. She's not a great actress. I already know that. But her dopey smile was driving me bananas by midpoint. Like, when she jumps on the bed and she's like, and she's like, so cool. And I'm like, that's a creepy antique baby head. Like, why are you not disturbed by this? Like, what teenager is like, that's a great room. I love it.
Right. It's definitely strange, especially as a teenager. Like, no teenager wants to live in a glass house. They want their privacy.
Totally.
To the characters, I thought the I don't remember where I was going. I'm so off right now. I can't do this. We gotta start over.
Do you want me? You want to start over? Or you want me to start that section
going.
over? Okay. Something, though, that was working, and CJ, you might be able to speak to this a bit more, and I know we touched on it, but I think this is a good place to elaborate a bit more, is like the set design. And even though we might not have agreed with all the cinematography choices, just working within that space of all glass, I think is something you're going to touch on a bit better than I can. I do give them massive credit for that. That's a feat in my eyes.
Yeah, I would love to see some behind the scenes on that. Anybody that's ever put a light up for a camera will know that you see every reflection in existence. So I honestly don't know how they did it. I imagine just really soft ambient overhead lighting for most of it. And then, I think at one point I could see a little camera reveal perhaps, and not so much in that I saw camera, but saw fabric or duvetine that was blocking the camera. And this is like when they're walking through the halls with the panel, and they're looking straight at the characters holding the panel, and a couple times you could see like the wrinkle of the fabric, I think is what you could see in the reflection. But outside of that, I mean, that was well executed. I thought the camera was doing some fun stuff. Like a couple favorite moments were like early in the movie, there's like a very like ghostly camera like moving through the junkyard, which I thought was nice.
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty good. And then maybe one of the most suspenseful points in the movie was when the dad, Arthur's being pulled up from the basement, and that like ghost with all the railroad spikes through him is coming at him, and the camera's like running down the hallway towards him basically, and you're just like, get up, and it's like his legs just barely make it out in time. That almost is always effective in my eyes, like that like point of view perspective of the ghost or the monster coming at you. But outside of that, I wouldn't say there's like hardly any suspense throughout this.
No, I think, again, where it feels like a missed opportunity is the ability to see the ghost with the glasses and then being left in the dark, not having the glasses. It feels like that's something that could have been played up on so much and could have been really stressful, intense, because these things are there, you know what's happening, but you can't see them. And the only time we even see that like even possibly utilized is when Maggie is directing Dennis to not get hit, and it's just not suspenseful, and it has that shitty 2000s editing where again you're just getting flashes at you like nonstop. So maybe even anything that was there and interesting is immediately just dies out because you're like, oh my eyes, like it's unfortunate. It feels like that is something that could have been so cool and is never utilized to its potential.
Yeah, when the glasses were first introduced, I was kind of excited. There's a pretty sweet like move through the glasses. So,
in the bathroom. Yeah,
you like move into the upside down world, if you will. But I thought that was neat and a fun way to like play with the world the ghosts are in, and how it's interacting with the real world. But they were just overutilized, I guess. Like they could have. There's like too much on off, that didn't make sense. And then also like the characters kept trading the glasses, like Matt Lillard's character, like. And
Dennis gives it to Maggie, then Dennis gives it to Arthur.
Why? I didn't understand that at all. It didn't make sense to me, but so again, just one of those moments like, what's happening? Why is this happening? Give me more cool ghosts, I guess.
And solid shout on the bathroom, because I actually do think that sequence is pretty cool. I just, again, really wish that it maybe had been a different actress, like, on the other end of it. Because it is kind of this cool idea that the ghosts are trapped in this, like, tormented whatever. And then that scene to me gives you some of the biggest context for, like, a character death where the blood says I'm sorry on it. And you're like, whoa. And you get the bloody bathtub water, which, By the way, I did have a blood bath bomb while I was watching this.
Yes.
And, oh my God, it was perfect. Guys, if you're a fan, check out the Fizzing Witch on Etsy. I was like in my own little tub with that, and I was like, this is perfect. It's so good.
Love it.
That's like a really cool idea, and it would have been interesting to see more of that, but which is actually, come to think of it, maybe this is a flaw. So obviously you go through the glasses and you see like the blood splatter and all this stuff and you can see the ghost. But then when we get to anyone else, it's just that you see the ghost. So is that an oversight? Or was that just like
You're
not
saying
a thing?
specific to that bathroom scene?
But saying like the world you see through the glasses has all this blood and there's the realm, and then anytime anybody has glasses on moving forward, you only see the ghost. Literally nothing else changes.
I just associated it to like her death in that bathtub or something, but it doesn't really make sense.
Did she die in that house though?
No,
it's not her
of course
house.
not. Right. So again, just another like point of confusion, I guess. Yeah,
I guess
why
so.
wouldn't you see more of the environment that these people died in?
That would be more effective too.
That'd be pretty cool. That bathroom scene, again, it's just like one of those moments where they just like lingered on the gratuitous nature of like how gross it is to be bathing in blood. It was like they just kept showing shot after shot
and it was
of
this
different
too.
like things. Yeah. The smiling. I'm so happy. And then the ghost herself, my goodness. I call her Tits Ghost. I don't know, Tits McGee or something, but
it's fair.
Now, I will say, again, super gratuitous in nature. And like the only nudity we see in the film, I think, right? Oh,
yes.
Except another like gratuitous moment where like I don't remember which chick was getting like clawed by one of the ghosts, and there's like tit shot of it. Like, why are we seeing this? But
it was so freaking strategic. Like, I'm a ghost and I'm just
like
gonna shred your top.
Janet Jackson moment, like oops.
Yeah, but not even her bra, so it gives it that PG-13. You're just like, dude, come on. Come on.
Exactly. Like, what? All right, I guess for horny little teenagers.
Yeah.
But I will say there was a little redemption in that character because of the backstory. Again, if you go to the bonus features of the DVD, which for the kids out there, I just want to say that is a disc we used to watch movies on, and then there'd be additional things that you could watch, like bonus features, instead of watching some podcast talk about it. So. Like that, of course, her backstory about her vanity and getting plastic surgery all the time. So, all right, it motivates the like big fake tits, I guess. But again, like, what are we looking at these for? It was just kind of how I felt.
I could not agree more, though, because I remember watching this and being like, wow, okay, like that's not how boobs look, but congratulations on being a 13-year-old boy who thinks they just sit up magically like inflatable balloons. And then I also saw the backstory thing and was like, but they're supposed to be, okay. But like, it's frustrating because you don't get any of that context in the movie.
So it doesn't make any sense.
No.
We've kind of moved through some characters and ghosts, but back to the story piece. One thing I did think was a fun idea to play with is like the ethical nature of trapping a soul or catching a soul.
Yeah,
like that's something that is a fun idea to consider, which I don't think I've seen anywhere else. In the sense of like, is it okay to trap a soul, catch a soul? Like you have Ghostbusters that just go out and catch ghosts, and no one like thinks of that as like,
hey, Slimer's out of the box, how dare you?
Exactly. I will say though, at the end of the movie, I was like, wait, they're just gonna let him go free and continue like murdering people? Like I get like set the soul free, but maybe not into the world. I don't know.
I 100% agree with you, 100%. There was something that was pointed out, I swear it was like on IMDb or something, like the trivia page, is that only 2 ghosts or 2 or 3 actually murder anybody or seem to have like ill will intentions. Like if you see a lot of the backstory stuff, and we might get into that, I'm not sure if we're gonna do it, but a lot of them, like accidental, sad deaths, whatever, like it's not necessarily that all of them are violent. I think only like 2 or 3 of them are like killers, quote unquote, and actually attack the people. The rest of them don't. So there is, like you said, there's that kind of ethical gray area of being like, well, not all of them seem that shady. It's just, you know, the little handful. But I agree, like the guy who killed like 9+ people, why is he just out and about with the mom ghost? Why is that a thing that's happening?
Well, in the Juggernaut, right? That the first one they catch,
him,
they're like,
yeah.
Killed like 45 people or something.
Oh,
like,
yeah, it was way more than I said. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it was nuts. And they're like, well, you can just keep on going, killing people or whatever.
And he killed people in the junkyard. He killed a load of people. I think that's where most of the kills come from, is that junkyard scene.
Yeah, you're right. So hit me with these ghosts. How'd you like the effects? Do you have a favorite ghost?
What again, really, I hate being like, oh, this is a missed opportunity, but like it just is. There are some super cool ghosts that get about 0 screen time, and the flashes you do get are very interesting and cool, but we just don't get enough of them to really get the whole story. And then some people are lingered on for like an exceptionally long period of time where you're wondering, well, why? Because again, we're not getting any context or backstory. We just are getting these ghosts. Obviously, it's the angry princess is the boob chick, as you very well noted. I think her story within the actual movie, it probably gets fleshed out the most. Like I said, you get the bathroom scene, and it is kind of like grim and a little depressing, quite frankly, which I think is actually really interesting. The ghosts that I wish had more time and I was interested in were, what's the torso and it's the hanged something. I gotta look it up. Oh, I'm gonna be so mad at myself that I can't remember. But she's like this
bonded girl, the like chick that was bound or something, or is that who you're talking about?
Yeah. I am literally trying to pull it up right now very quickly. But those are the ones to me where I was like, give me more. I'm very interested. Yeah, the bound woman. Congrats. Good job on that. I would be interested to see what those stories are and those fully fleshed out. And again, they just got such little screen time that's like, God, just tell me what's happening here. What were your top ones?
I think my favorite was the headless torso. Was super cool.
It's dope.
It just is a nice, clean look. I thought the where like the prosthetics in this were super cool, but because they showed so much of it, they just came off as like cheesy and hokey almost. Like okay, that's clearly a prosthetic. Why are we sitting here watching this? Like I've seen it. You showed it to me. The one that I think is like actually my least favorite is the one with the railroad spikes through him. It's really cool, but it's just so over the top, like so it just made it like excessive in a way that took me out of the movie and actually made it less scary when it really had potential to go somewhere.
To your point, too, the torso was done with a double amputee, so that's way more practical. And there was just like a special like mask thing or hood thing that like then they could edit out. So like to your point there, that is the most practical and probably looks the best compared to, I swear, he might not have had the longest, but the Jackal or the Juggernaut had the longest effects I read to like put on and stuff. And it to me is shockingly like not the most compelling, whereas like practical, look at the practical.
That's interesting. Yeah. And I, at one point you had mentioned someone in the effects house went on to make a lot of the Walking Dead zombies.
Yeah, Greg Nicotero's studio and him like did a bunch of that stuff, which is dope.
I mean, that first zombie looking ghost, the Juggernaut, like he looks like a zombie. Basically, I was actually like almost confused. Like, wait, this is a zombie film? You know, I was just kind of curious. Do you like this sort of style of ghosts where they're like very like kind of like real people as opposed to like a spirit? I mean, you see it in lots of movies, right? Sixth Sense, all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah. I do think that ghosts are super interesting, and I almost wish, and this is where actually I feel like where somebody has potential to do something with this story in a meaningful way. I wish there just had been more with the ghosts in general. I think the backstories are interesting. They all have this really tragic quality to them, which makes them very compelling and could maybe even lend this like empathetic lens to a lot of them. But without any context, without any understanding, you're just seeing flashes. How are you supposed to get invested in any of this? How are you supposed to care about or be scared of the ones that are like kind of scary? I did read that it's being shopped around. Nobody's doing it yet, but the idea is to do stories specifically on these ghosts using these backgrounds.
No,
I would watch that.
That might be interesting. Sort of like
TV show.
Like 13 episodes, are you suggesting?
I don't know. I'm not sure what the plan is, but
it would be kind of fun to do like 13 ghosts where you watch each one of them get caught. You know, you see it from their perspective.
Oh, that's interesting too. I didn't think about that.
And you get their backstory. Who knows? Well, so, you know, I thought like practical effects were well done, but overshown. The VFX in this movie were the horrible 2000s VFX, right? Can we all agree on that?
Abysmal.
We all agree. The spinning gears, again, so over elaborate, like that doesn't exist in any physical world. Like that's baloney, and it looked bad. And they used like a bunch of like lens flares for literally no reason. Why are we doing it? It didn't add anything. It was not motivated. I was like, thanks for more 2000s crap thrown into this movie.
So many of the flares too, just adding to that, where you're like, why are we just throwing flares randomly?
Yeah.
Like literal flares to it. So like
the
you
actual,
said,
like,
yeah.
I don't get that either. Why does that little flare stick like scare the ghost? It's not explained.
It's not explained. That's the so frustrating part. And actually, I'm still confused about
like,
Cleo's character.
Fire.
Like, why? I get that she's a part of this elaborate plot, I really do, but then why does she bring real explosives to the house? Like, I'm just so confused about everything to do with that.
You're right, because at the end of the day, she wants the machine to work. So why does she have explosives to blow it all up? This makes
I don't know.
No fucking sense. Oh my god, that never even occurred to me. You know, one of the effects that I thought actually was effective was the first ghost attack when the daughter is getting slashed in the face, and you just
that was better than the
scratches
one, yeah.
yeah, where all you see are the like scratches on her face appearing. I thought was pretty cool and well done.
Yeah, and to have the dad like not see it, like I think again there's some potential there, but it just like any tension that might have existed is broken up so quickly by the random appearance of this character we hardly know. You know, it's just kind of like, okay, well here we are now, I guess, and here's this gratuitous boob shot but we're also gonna weirdly keep it PG-13 because it's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's a choice. Like many things in this film.
All right, here's a choice. Matthew Lillard. Tell me about some of these choices. Choices he made, choices for him to be in the movie. Were they his choices, or were they editing and directing choices?
Well, and that's a hard thing. Like, I definitely can't say for sure what the answer to that is because I'm not confident. But I will say, like, you get Scream, and he's so unhinged in that, but something about Stu Macher works in a way that it shouldn't work. Now, moving him to this, like, semi-quasi, like, good guy, not really. He's plagued by spirits, so I get that they're trying to give this kind of vibe of a tormented individual who can't, like, function because mirror touch like sends him into these like psychic whatever episodes, but I just feel like it feels really overacting, and then you pair it with that awful editing, and you're just like, please stop writhing around the ground, please stop strobe lighting my face, making these stupid noises, guttural screams that don't feel like legitimate. I don't know, like, I love him, I hate to like say anything negative, but it did not work for me. How about for you?
What's the total runtime of this movie?
An hour and a half.
Yeah. I think this is a 60-minute movie. You could cut out so much of the like gratuitous like acting. You could cut out all of the like unnecessary like ghost moments, and suddenly you have a really good 60-minute movie. Audiences don't want that, I guess, is what the producers think. I don't know, but it to me, like good editing gets out of a shot, out of a scene before the acting goes bad. You know, that's like an editor's job.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
and we could have like he could have done that like campy, dramatic, over the top acting, and gotten away with it if we just pulled out of the shot sooner, you know. But we just
maybe that's the scream difference. Maybe that's the difference with Wes Craven. It's like he knows when to get out of the. Or knew when to get out because he was a good director and writer. So maybe for him it was like, I know, or whatever.
It was also not his character the entire length of the film. You know, like that's another part.
That's true.
It was just the entire freaking movie. He was like so over the top, like with his performance, that it was like, oh, come on,
he's
man.
only likable when he was dead, pretty much. Like, or when he like
when
from
his
the
ghost
moment,
comes back.
Yeah, because he wasn't so annoying. It was just, though it was a little like, let me clean my glasses and be cool about it. But I will say, like, at least it was more endearing than what was going on 90% of the movie.
I liked it when he came back. That was fun.
It was like a Mufasa moment. It was like, I'm here to guide you to like, save your children. But also, why?
The choice is clear now.
Why does he jump through the machine? There's another question I have. Like, what is the point of jumping through the machine? Maggie didn't go through the machine. She was fine. What was the rationale? Why did he even bother jumping through the machine? They were fine.
And I can't remember. Did they have to jump back out?
How
did they just walk out?
The whole thing like just explodes because Maggie like jacks it all up, and then it like
why not just stop
all the pieces
machine?
Start.
Yeah,
I don't know. I truly don't know. There's so many questions I have that I just want somebody to answer, including like, how did the teacher have money for a nanny? Why is this random smarmy guy getting like the light in his eyes and he's like, I'm evil, but he also didn't seem to really totally get what was going on. I have a lot of questions.
Right. I kept expecting the lawyer to have a role of like, I mean, it seemed like he knew maybe that there were ghosts or something like that was like subtly implied at one point, but he played no role in anything. Like he didn't hint to the family there's a bunch of money lying around. There was no like his death didn't result in anything other than turning on the machine, which could have happened any sort of way. It could have happened in lots of ways. What's the fucking uncle's name again? God damn it.
Cyrus Criticos.
Cyrus could have just turned it on himself, right? Like, why did he have to have this like bag of money to get lifted off of the machines? Like, he's alive the whole time, just hiding out somewhere. He could have just turned it on. Like, that is so unnecessary. Go ahead. What?
Can we please talk about really quick when his will video pops up and it looks like
oh my God.
It looks like a video game circa 1999.
The same editor they hired for this movie.
Yes.
He had the same guy edit his will video. What a move.
I was obsessed when it popped up. I actually started laughing immediately. I was like, oh no, oh my God, he's doing a video will via the 2000s. And just take a guess if you guys are not familiar with this era of what that looked like. It is Oh my God, I felt like I was playing it like an adventure game that I would play on like the big old desktop at home, like with the floppy disk.
Yes,
like that's what it felt like. It was
floppy disk
amazing.
for the kids out there is what that save icon looks like. Yeah. Anyways, so I completely agree. It was like, and why did the window keep closing and popping up? And like, it's like a new video. I was so confused.
I was obsessed
like,
with it though.
The guy like created a spam pop up for his will. It is pretty fantastic. I don't know.
It's so good. We have to, because this is, again, one of the stronger points. Talk about the best deaths in this movie.
Easy. Lawyer.
It's definitely number one. I mean, anytime you get somebody cut in half, and I have to say, like, well acted, well executed. Like, it looked really good. The front half, like, first you get that kind of lingering, which actually this really tracks that this guy did 13 Ghosts, because there's a very similar, if you're familiar, you know, the opening sequence, which is literally the only redeeming quality of that film. But it's got that, like, kind of slow reveal of, like, the glass is falling and his eyes slightly darting and then starting to fall down. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and then the whole body just slowly is like down the glass. It's pretty fun. And it looks nice too. You know, like through the glass, seeing the inside of the body looked pretty freaking legit. I would love to throw the 2 cents in on the original 13 Ghosts movie. I think it is an atrocious follow-up of House on Haunted Hill, like for having the same crew. I don't know how they botched that so bad.
No Vincent Price. I'm telling you.
I suppose. And then it's just hysterical to me that you go on to remake it like 40 years later and you botch it nearly as bad.
Yeah, just in a different way. Like, you're right. It's like, I think this one is so frustrating because of like the glimmers of hope in it that make you go, God, in the right hands, what could this have been? And maybe would it have saved that production company? And maybe it would have led to more Castle films being remade. But between this and House on Haunted Hill, no. Just a big no to it. Oh, shoot. I do have to say, special shout out to the worker who got crunched into and sucked into the car. I meant to give him an honorable mention.
All right.
That was
right.
I like that one a lot.
That one, and then there's one more favorite death, which is Matt Lillard. Him getting like bent in half across the corner.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
That was pretty dope.
I do think Kalina 2 had potential, but I guess actually they had filmed a more intense one, but then they're like,
where
well,
she,
now
like,
you're going to be
explodes.
NC. Yeah, like eyes bulge out, popping out. But I guess that was going to bump them to like NC-17. So like, no, we got to scale that back. So that's again, missed opportunity. The theme of this episode, apparently. That would have been dope.
Yeah.
Good shout out Matthew Lillard. I forgot.
Another missed opportunity is in the title itself. Could have just stuck with 13. Could have just done that. And I think that's the like moral of the story here. Just keep it simple, stupid.
You're right, though. It has to go one way or the other. Keep it really simple or expand it in a way that's meaningful. Like, I think... Or
know that you're going over the top, lean into it in every way, stop trying to be serious, and let it be fun and playful.
Yeah, there's like honestly 3 routes they could have gone. Like you said, it's like keep it really simple and just update the classic, and you can still have the family dynamic and all that stuff, but play up that more. Or you can be like, let's have this, which I guess was also like an originally proposed idea. Like, let's have this take place over a couple days. It doesn't have to be all shelved into one night. Like we can explore characters and stories more and get more time, make it more elaborate. Or like you said, like, I just feel like any of those 3 avenues would have worked, but it's like they took a little bit of each one and just threw it together in a way that does not work.
Yeah.
Like, camp it up, man. I would have been all for a super camped out film.
Right. Well, Sorry for delivering a shoddy movie on Friday the 13th, but I think if you were to have a Friday the 13th party, this is the one to throw on just because of what it is. Are we overlooking anything here that the filmmakers overlooked as well?
Let me check my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything big. And guys, I'll link this for sure, but I highly recommend checking out that DVD feature thing. It's like literally 13 minutes. The best part of the movie. Yeah, honest to God, it really, really is. I think we got the big ones. I will say, like, again, there were definitely some solid updates. One update that did not work for me was the character of Bobby, who I found so annoying and was so grateful when his character was taken away at midpoint. Literally, that kid was like a creep, and I say that as like a true crime fanatic, and I was like, this kid's like 5 and is like, decapitation. I was like, no. That kid's gonna murder someone. You liked him?
His mother died in a fire. Like, for the love of God, the guy's a little. He has some trauma there, you know. Speaking of, I would say that maybe the worst effects were on the mom.
God,
the
yeah, it
burned
looks
face,
bad.
Which is kind of super mediocre, or at least relative to everything else, you know.
Well, and also, like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but, like, okay, so you're telling me she was in a massive house fire where she was taken to a hospital and died, and it's just like...
What looks like some boiled water splashed on her face, you know?
Yeah, like the Phantom of the Opera style. Yeah, she's just got one little chunk and everything else is fine, I guess. And also, like...
Her hair's fine.
Yeah, oh my God, you're right. The hair wasn't even burnt. Oh my God, it was, like, just barely pulled back. Oh, I just disappeared. Every time I can't do it. Apparently, I'm a ghost. If I pull my hair back, I'm like, Gene, I'm a ghost too.
Ghost would have been a better movie.
There we go. Good God.
And then I also thought it was really funny or confusing when she appears and like no one like gives her a hug. Like even when she appears to the husband the first time and he's through the glass and he's like still hiding behind the glass. Like, yo, that's your wife. Aren't you gonna like come around? Like, she's not gonna murder you, right? Like, embrace her.
It's like the most convoluted shit to ever. Like this whole introduction of like you get the exposition dump montage of the mom dying and then like the uncle knew this was gonna happen or he set it up. Like it's very confusing and then trapped the wife and what. It's so confusing. And then, like you said, to then have him a very unrealistic response from any of the family members, like really doesn't sell that idea at all.
Yeah, 100%. I will say though, kind of on par to the original 13 Ghosts movie, because if you watch that, you're like, why is nobody freaking out that there's just ghosts in this house and just going about their days and pretending it doesn't exist?
You're right. There's no combo. Like, and if it is, this is very quick. Like, oh, there's ghosts. Blah, blah, blah. I can see them through my glasses. There's no like, oh my God, there's a whole nother world and there's ghosts and what does that mean in existential conversation? No, it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, y'all. Put it on. Don't put it on. You could totally skip this and your life would still be very fulfilled. But if you're just looking for good fun, something to throw around and, I don't know, gross out your teenage kids or something, here's a fun way to do it, I guess.
Oh, for sure. And look, we really pulled this one apart and dug in pretty hard here. But I have to say, like, if you just take it at face value, it is entertaining, but you just have to know what you're getting into, have really low expectations, really hone in on the DVD feature as, again, that is our one shining moment here, and appreciate the things that are great, like the great set design, the concept for the ghosts are cool, a lot of things that are kind of being put on the plate are almost there, so if you can kind of focus in on that and just enjoy it, you'll have a good time. But again, if you're looking for anything like consistent or coherent or like well edited, this is not it. So Stay away if you're looking for a real Academy
Movie?
Award winner. This is not it. Yeah, just a movie. If you're looking for a real movie, this is probably not it.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in, though, to our podcast, Under the Bad. We appreciate you listening. Always come find us on Instagram. We got some drinks there for you to check out. I'm not even sure anymore if we're on TikTok or Twitter. That's for y'all to discover on your own.
You find out. It's a mystery.
And just continue enjoying Spooktober, y'all. We're excited to keep the episodes coming all season long.
That is right. I think we announced this last week, but we've got an episode coming out a week, which is awesome. We've got some super fun ones coming up back to back. I cannot wait. We are covering The Witch,
Better
and we're
movies.
covering so much better. And Totally Killer, which as of this announcement right now is not out, so I am super looking forward to it. But we are so jazzed. It is spooky season, and we are bringing you the hits and the non-hits, it seems, right now.
See you next time, y'all.
Bye.